This section is called Uncovering Your Current Negative Motivation. You see, we need to dive deeply into your personality to understand the specific patterns in your life. We will go over some of the most common patterns that I run into with self-sabotaging individuals, but it is up to you to make sure that you dig deep and uncover all of these negative motivators. The first is guilt. Perhaps your mother would say, "Oh, don't worry, I will clean this up." Or your father would say, "Oh no, let me take care of this. My bad back can handle it." Our parents, our teachers, our society, everywhere we look, we see guilt being used as an incentive. But guilt bears negativity. Guilt leaves you frozen in time, unable to get past the regret you've experienced. It causes you to go back again and again to the same problems you wish you could avoid. When we guilt someone else, we are trying to make them feel bad to get them to do something good. Guilt is selfish in this way. When we guilt ourselves, we are holding back our potential, as negativity only brings us down. The past can never be undone. No matter what you do, you couldn't have done it differently. But this feeling, it's primal. And the logic of guilt is absurd. To beat guilt, focus on what you will do next time. Take pride in all of your choices, because if they hurt, they are excellent lessons to learn from. And we love lessons. The next is worry. We worry about our health, our finances, our children. We worry about our spouses. We worry about what others think. Worst of all are the worriers that worry about the fact that there's nothing to even worry about. This is one of the most addictive motivators. People think, if I'm not worried about planning this, I will surely forget something. No. You will only add a layer of suffering that will blind you from the beautiful thing you're planning in the first place. I see this with weddings, with vacations, and worrying about those closest to you. Worrying about others comes with this level of selfishness as well. It is closely tied to guilt, and we often interlace the two. When you put your worries on others, you are taking from them. When you worry to yourself, you are wasting up all your productive time fearing something that hasn't even happened. But what could you be doing with all of that time? Remember, the difference between worrying and caring, one is productive and the other is riddled with suffering. There's a saying that goes, "I'm an old man with many troubles. Most of them have never happened." Combating worrying is about controlling what you can and accepting what you can't. Embrace the fact that sometimes there's just nothing that you can do. Tell yourself, "I refuse to waste my life, to give up my time filling it with needless, empty worry." This acceptance is key to learn. Understand that when you are not accepting, you are resisting. And ask yourself, is resisting the unknown, or better, resisting the inevitable, serving me? Does it make sense? Will it help me grow? One of the biggest things I see with people resisting is asking why. People ask, why am I having these feelings? Or why does my head go there? Or if only I knew why I had anxiety. But rarely are they trying to figure out what to do or how to get better. Asking why becomes an addiction as well. Rather than accepting and taking a step forward, asking why takes the sufferer down a rabbit hole of more questions. But the truth is that no answer will make anything better. Expecting the right words to help is like expecting to get drenched just from the word water. Action in the positive direction is the answer to resistance. The next time you find yourself asking why, switch gears and ask yourself what you could be doing to solve this problem. You might wake up tomorrow and feel terrible. You might stand up and feel dizzy. You may be this far along the process and still unable to accept that this is just how your body is right now, and you are working to change it. But you must accept this. You must not pretend to be surprised when you fall back into old habits. You must stop asking why and tell yourself that you are working to get better, and only ask, what can I do to get even better? There will always be ups and downs. Don't get lost in the downs because of your addiction to asking why. The next problem I see has to do with pity and self-worth. When I tell people that they have these patterns, and that I had them too, it usually surprises them. But have you ever needed to get your point across? Do you ever feel like nobody understands you and you always have great ideas? Perhaps you didn't get enough attention as a child, or this is your current experience in work or at home. This is self-pity. When we suffer over not being heard, not being cared about, we are telling ourselves that we are worth so much more than what we are experiencing. And this over-exaggerated sense of self-worth backfires. It makes us feel terrible. We pity ourselves, feeling sorry for how small we feel. But you are not small and you are not weak. To combat this, be respectful of the differences of opinions. Cherish the beauty and the contrast around you. Be grateful that everyone isn't you, for how life would be if it were so. Be confident in your decisions by welcoming the different opinions internally and comparing them to your own. And don't feel sorry for yourself when you are not heard. You are heard. You can hear yourself. Your worth comes from within you, not from what other people think. Being a victim is the worst pattern that you can have. Being a victim takes us back to responsibility. We are not victims. We are powerful. We hold the power to experience the way we choose to experience. If you're in pain, tired, late, angry, or anything you deem as negative, and you believe it is because something outside of your control or someone else is to blame, you are being a victim and you are not living up to your potential. You are the gatekeeper of your experience. If somebody rear-ends you, sure, you couldn't do anything about that, but you can choose to suffer or you can choose to be proactive, to live in peace, and to feed that good wolf. Being a victim makes you think of yourself as incapable, makes you believe that you are stuck, that your mind is fixed and you are limited. It makes you very lazy. If you feel like you need someone, like you need support, you need something from the outside world, you will always be victimizing yourself. Understand that you are all that you need. Understand that you are all that you need and that you are the best support that you could ever ask for. Ever notice how you are always there when you need you the most? Self-sabotage comes in many forms. It is important to know that we need to drive ourselves. We need to create leverage in our lives with pleasure rather than pain. If we are using any of these negative drivers as motivators, we will always be limiting our potential. Lead yourself to success with positivity. In the Bible, Isaiah 12:3 states, "With joy, you will draw water from the wells of salvation." That doesn't mean that when you're drinking these waters of salvation that you feel good. It means that we need to approach our goals with love, with happiness and peace if we want to enjoy and fulfill them.